This is the House of Science as it is today.
In a series of commissions for the 1962 Seattle World's Fair, the 1964 New York World's Fair, and the 1968 San Antonio World's Fair, the Eames Office created exhibitions, films, and slideshow presentations related to the topics of math and science. The Eames exhibition Mathematica, A World of Numbers and Beyond, found a home in both Seattle and in New York, boasting interactive experiments and countless graphic displays. Quite memorable to history was the egg-shaped IBM pavilion at the New York World's Fair. The structure hoisted over 400 seated people upward into the floating theater, presenting to them a cinematic show of a lifetime. In a theater adjacent to the IBM festivities at the Seattle World's Fair, the Eames film House of Science was looped for the fair's 9.6 million attendees. After the fair's 6-month lifespan expired, IBM funded the reproduction of House of Science so that it could be widely circulated. This particular film serves as a prime example of the Eames approach of distilling complex ideas down into smaller, more manageable bits of information. The audience of these presentations was never to be professionals or scholars, but instead ordinary people. Age was also a barrier to be broken. And all ages and types of people deserved to be educated properly on a topic that so many of us are still intimidated by, just science. Bringing us back to 1962, while seated on the auditorium floor, well-dressed fair visitors watched above. 6 images were projected simultaneously, changing to the next frame in tandem with one another. A cartoon spanned the first few minutes of the film and set the historic stage for 1962's view of science. Trumpets and flutes transitioned the viewers to photographs of men and some women, and then to the exteriors of buildings. "These are the men that inhabit the House of Science," the narrator said.
That work in it, live in it, build it. This is about what scientists look like. And these are the places they do their work. From the outside, the buildings are about as varied as the scientists themselves. Large and small, young and old.
Along with this continued narration, the image montages followed showed scientific instruments, sunlight, moonlight, the stars, lakes and rivers, the cracked floor of the desert and boiling lava, the sea and its animal life, the earth and its animal life, cities filled with people, architecture, murals and petroglyphs, cameras, microscopes, telescopes, astronauts, Arctic explorers, handwritten data, computers, and so much more. Presenting hundreds of images to the viewer quickly and in this multi-screen format, Charles said, established credibility and avoided superlatives. An image could carry the weight of an idea on its own, and it didn't need to be explained with unnecessary words. After being softly bombarded with these images, it's hard to imagine an aspect of life that isn't touched by the sciences. It's after these simple explanations of the narrator that the film gets a little more poetic.
Science is essentially an artistic or philosophical enterprise, carried on for its own sake. In this, it is more akin to play than work. But it is quite a sophisticated play, in which the scientist views nature as a system of interlocking puzzles. He assumes that the puzzles have a solution, that they will be fair. He holds to a faith in the underlying order of the universe. His motivation is his fascination with the puzzle itself. His method, a curious interplay between idea and experiment. His pleasures are those of any artist. High on the list of prerequisites for being a scientist is a quality that defines the rich human being as much as it does the man of science. That is, his ability and his desire to reach out with his mind and his imagination to something outside himself.
This film equates a scientist to an artist, to a philosopher, to a curious explorer, and most surprisingly, to an ordinary person. What a relief it is to learn that, in a way, we are all scientists. Stories like this are told on a monthly basis in a blog series called Eames Archives, an image as an idea. You can read this one along with others on our website, eames.link/eames-archives. Thank you.